Good morning, everybody. I say good morning because it is morning for me. I decided to bring you into my morning practice this morning after watching Crystal's video on coping skills. So normally I wouldn't look this put together. I might be in my robe. My hair might be sticking straight up, but I thought that'd be a little much, so maybe I better get ready and then come talk to him. So, good morning. I took some notes. I want to talk to you a little bit about what Crystal said, and then I want to share a little bit and kind of open up my life to you a little bit more this morning. So, Crystal said about coping skills, we all have them. We all have them. Whether we're using the right ones or not, we all have them. We're using the ones that serve us based on what we believe. So I thought that was really powerful. She also said that our brain uses coping skills, and how miraculous that is that we all do that to gain control, to ensure that we get love and security, and to avoid pain. How true that is. I have to admit, my coping skills got boosted big time in a season for me of pain, grief, and loss. The coping skills that I had used in the past weren't a good enough anesthetic anymore, if you know what I mean. The skills I'd used weren't working anymore because the pain was greater than the relief of the coping skill I was using. So I began to work a little bit harder. Out of desperation, I beefed up my coping skills, and I became very intentional about them. And you know, Crystal included a list, and exercise was on there, and walking, and I agree with all those and definitely partaken on those, but I found that those were a little bit more stress relievers than they were something deeper that I was looking after. And many of you have heard me over the years define coping skills as this, or define the word coping this way: wrestling or grappling with difficulties and acting to overcome them. Well, I was in a season where I needed to overcome. So I began to look at a practice that would help me overcome, not just have some temporary relief of stress. And I wrote down what my life is when I don't practice this versus what my life is when I do. So you ready to hear that? My life without this routine that I'm about to show you, without this daily practice, is anxious, frustrated, self-centered, simple, scattered, controlling, lacking in discipline, and fearful. Now, there's a list for you. Some of you didn't know I had all those qualities, did you? My life with this routine, this practice, is peace, satisfied, sacrificial, brilliant, focused, detached, self-control, and joyful. Anybody choose that second list but me? And I want you to know I've tested this. I've tested it because you know how it is when you do something that is good for you and you do it long enough that you start to feel better. And then you think, well, I don't need to do that anymore because I'm feeling so good. Well, I've tested it. I stop doing this practice and I start to slip. I start to go right back to that first list I just read you and immediately know that I've got to get back. So many of you have seen this morning practice of mine, and I've talked about it over the years, but many of you haven't, and I just want to make sure that I get this on video. So here I go. My morning practice. The first thing I did was I had to get myself some sort of a little basket or box. This is what mine looks like. I've got a little Northwest house, so I had to pick those trees. Isn't that cute? But there's baskets and boxes and bags and all kinds of things that people use, because I found that I needed to go different places in my house. Sometimes I'm in my office, sometimes I'm in my bedroom, sometimes I go outside. Sometimes, like in this season of COVID, I'm in the basement. You know, I'm in the basement right now. A daylight basement, but I'm in the basement. So I take my box, my bag, my little basket with me, and all of the things that I need for my morning practice are in there. So I thought I'd go through my little box and show you what's inside. First off, a candle. I always light a little tea light. Sometimes I blow it out because I've moved through it so quickly. Other times I let the whole thing burn down. So it just kind of depends. And I actually have gotta show you, I actually have a little baggie, like one of these little guys, full of little tea lights. And when it gets low, I replace it again. So that's inside. I also have inside some essential oils. I just like to take some out. One of the ones that's in here is called Joy. The other one is called Inner Child, because a lot of times I'm trying to get there. So I might just open one up and roll it a little bit and smell before I start. So that's inside, and that's in a little bag too. I've got a jar of pencils and colored pens and felt pens so I can write. We're going to get to that in a minute. I also have a beautiful little matchbox that one of my friends bought me that says Joy. So I have my little matches inside because, you know, got to have a pretty little matchbox to go in my basket. So that's all in there. And I sit down and light my candle and take a couple of deep breaths. Oh, I have to show you something really special. Guess what else I have? You know you're getting old when you do this. I have a little blanket. And seriously, I went online to baby blankets. Look at that. That's all the bigger it is. Because I didn't want something big. I just wanted something to cover my legs. Because, you know, that's what old people do. And so I ordered a brown one so it wouldn't be pink or blue and look like a baby. So it just kind of goes over my chair, or I lay it in my basket, because then I can just put it over me. Do you kind of get the feeling of what's happening right now? I'm preparing myself for a few minutes. A few minutes. That's all it takes. Let me show you some of the books. I have a Jesus Calling that I have read for so many years. I'm starting to believe that, you know, it's going to fall apart. The binding's going to come apart, and I'm kind of sad about it. I write in it lots of times. Just depends on the day and what's going on. But it's so amazing that I've gone through it for years and years and years and years. I wonder when I first got it. I'm not sure. But every day, one little page, that's all it is. And I read it, breathe, and think about it. The Language of Letting Go. If you don't have this book yet, I'd get it. Daily Meditations for Codependence. Melanie Beattie wrote this book, and a friend gave it to me in 1994. I've been reading it ever since. I just keep moving through it. I have special bookmarks. My sister made me this one, 5 Sisters, with our names on the back. And so I have special bookmarks in different books depending on the book. So read a little meditation about that every day. One of my most important books, and if you all don't have it, I'd recommend you run out today and buy it, Let Go Now, Embracing Detachment. I know I've encouraged you, a bunch of you, to get this. I have purchased a bunch of these for you, and it's really, really a powerful book. So again, a one day at a time book. I'm on my 4th or 5th or 6th time through this book. Very, very powerful. And it's funny because I have some important bookmarks too. This is a card from my son, And so, of all the people I need to detach from, he's one on the top of the list. So, I have a card that he gave me as my bookmark inside there. So, I read that, and it just takes a few seconds to read and write about it. Depending on what's going on in my life, I have another little devotional or something. I've got Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. If you have not read that book, it's powerful. And I'm working through that, so I have that in there. I've got a Bible, and what's funny is I have actually gone to the large print Bibles. I also have another card in there that my son and daughter-in-law gave me. You are capable of wild and extraordinary things. That's inside my Bible. And so that's there for me to read every morning too. And then probably the most important thing is my journal. You know, I've had so many of you over the years say that journaling changed your life. I've also had so many of you over the years say, I don't know what to journal about. And that always causes me to giggle on the inside, be curious, question, because there's not a time that there are not 4,762 thoughts going through my mind. I'm not sure about you. Even if I sat down each day and journaled about the feelings I had as I was looking through those little devotionals, or maybe I would sit down today and journal about the ways that I wish yesterday was better. The thoughts that I'm having that are disturbing, the curiosity that I'm having about what's going on in the world, the fears, the hopes, the joy, the gratitude, the friendships, the love, the family. I will never run out of things to talk about. But what I know to be true is when I put a pen, in this case a pencil, and this is how big my little journal is, and I try to do 3 pages a day. See how big that is? 3 pages a day. It doesn't take long. You'd be surprised, and you'll be surprised what comes out. And that's the key with my morning practice. Bringing things in that are greater, more important than me, and letting go of things that I don't need to hold on to. Letting go of the things I don't need to hold on to. So I go about my day with strength and joy and peace and a sacrificial love for my family and my husband and you. Without this practice, I am a mere speck of myself compared to who I am when I follow through with this. And I know a lot of you are saying, wow, it doesn't work out in my life, and that takes practice, and that takes time, and I don't know if I can fit that in. I just want to encourage you, we all have the same amount of time. It's just what we do with it. If you need to do it at night, if you need to do it in the afternoon, if you need to find a way to make it happen, I want to encourage you to make it happen. Guys, you're looking at my little basket saying, I don't know, Letha, really? Well, beef up your basket. Put it in a toolbox or something. I don't know. Even if you had a couple of those books to read every day and you wrote 1 page of your fears. Come on, guys, I know you have them. About what's going on with the world and what's going on with your kids and what's going on with your grandkids. Get that out. I know it'll make a difference. I also have this little 3-ring binder, or this little binder here with a hole in it with some little cards that I write an important thought and then sometimes just flip through these. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Oh, how we need that right now. So, Letha, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. I just look through this and read it out loud or read it to myself, and it allows more peace, more joy to come. And that's what I need. I don't know about you guys. So, the other really important thing I want to remind you of, I put 3 or 4 of those books on my Kindle or my iPad. So when I travel out of town for a week, I'm getting ready to go to Sun River for a week, I'll take my Kindle, won't take this basket with me, but I will take a journal and a pen, and I will at least take those 3 little devotionals so that I can read those every morning and stay up on it and focus on something for the day. Also have a box of Kleenex close, because there's many a morning I need it. So you guys, there's a coping skill for you. It's changed my life. I want you to know it would change yours too. See what you can do about starting a routine, getting a basket, filling it up with things that will fill you up, so that you might go out into this world right now that's a scary, strange, dark place and be filled to overflowing with peace and joy and kindness and love and tenderness. And that you would love yourself so much that you will do the things necessary to take care of yourself. So, coping skills, wrestling or grappling with difficulties and acting to overcome them. I'm with you, friends. Let's cope together. And thanks, Crystal, for your great message. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.